Hi guys. I just recently built my first ant vivarium. And I'm proud to tell you that it's all DIY including the enclosure. Welcome to DColonyyt. In this project, we will be using acrylic glass for the enclosure. Without further ado, let's start by removing this glass protective covers. I'm using 90 degrees clamp to hold acrylic pieces together while I'm gluing them, but you can also use masking tape to hold the glass, if clamp isn't available. Let's glue the base of the enclosure first, using acrylic cement. After letting it set for 20 seconds, it's now ready for the next step. We will use the removable lid as guide, while gluing the top acrylic sheet that will hold the cover later on. Then, let's apply the acrylic cement. Just give some space between the guide and the corners, to prevent them from gluing all together. It's a removable cover, after all. After it sets, let's install the other side of the enclosure, leaving the front open for our next step. Our next step is to cut some acrylic glass, using this laminate cutter to help us in landscaping our vivarium easier. Using a metal file, we need to make some hole that will be sealed with a sphagnum moss later on, to allow minimal water flow, and to block dirts. They are now ready to be attached to the enclosure itself. Using cyanoacrylate adhesive gel, let's attach this dragon stones to the glass we recently cut. Just glue the stones with similar color as much as possible, to achieve the best outcome possible. After that, we can now attach the front glass. Then we will proceed checking if there's any leak in the enclosure. I'm glad Mr. Leak is absent today. We can now put it in place, before moving to the next step. For the false bottom or drainage layer, you can use gravel, but here, I'm using hydroton, or clay pebbles. Because it's lighter than stone pebbles, it will reduce the weight of our vivarium. The next thing we need is a draining mesh, which will separate our drainage layer to the substrate. Just cut it to the size that you need. Next step is putting the substrate. For the substrate layer, I'm using a mix of charcoal powder, sphagnum moss, cocoa peat, and garden soil. We can make some part elevated, to highlight the landscape we want to our vivarium. We can also add a driftwood, to make it look more natural. And also some pebbles at the front. I also glue a moss in this rock, to give it a try if I can grow it here. Anyway, I used an aquarium safe glue on this job. Now it's time to plant something in our setup. This small plant is called Philippines Maidenhair Fern. A fern native to the Philippines obviously. I got this plant from my backyard. I really love the green leaves and black stems combo of this fern. And its height also fits our ant vivarium perfectly. I'll also plant some seeds here. Even though they got small chance of survival, I still want to give it a try. Let's also add some plants in the driftwood. Our first air plant is called Hamomilla. Let's put her here, a good spot I think. And the last two is named Ionantha rubra. Let's put it here. And the other one at the driftwood. Let's have a quick break, to water the moss and our fern. We will also water the pebbles, to have a small body of water in our vivarium. And to add some additional and interesting place for our ants to explore. Looks like we need more greenery in the vivarium. So, let's add more plants. I cut some climbing fig, Ficus pumila, and planted it at the back of the vivarium. I'm not sure if I can grow it here, but then again I'm still giving it a try. I really want some vines in the background. After several days, some of the seeds have successfully germinated, but the vivarium still looks empty. So, let's collect some moss, in my moss propagation box, to add more color to our vivarium. Let's plant this one here. And another one on this spot. Let's press it to the substrate, putting some pressure, to attach the roots to the ground. Let's put white moss here. And another patch here. It's called white moss guys, but it's green. If you know why it's called white moss, please share it in the comments. Okay. Let's hydrate our newly planted mosses. Anyway guys, I'm using rainwater to hydrate them. Because mosses loves rain. They really thrive in acidic soils. Now it's time to add our cleanup crew to the setup. I forgot to tell you guys, I added 4 night crawlers here before adding the mosses. Unfortunately I lost the video of the 3 who goes in the same direction, under the driftwood. I don't know what happened. Luckily I still have the footage of this one who goes in opposite direction. Let's also add some isopods to the vivarium, harvested from my isopods breeding box. They will play an important role in decomposing leaf litters. And therefore, making a significant contribution to nutrient cycling, and soil ecosystem services. Let's also add springtails to the setup. Sorry for the mess guys, those are decomposing carrots and potatoes. Anyway, it's my springtails breeding box. Springtails will also play important roles in our vivarium, in the decomposition of organic materials, our ants' food left over, including our ants' poop. They will also help in cycling of nutrients, and formation of soil microstructure. Looks like our fern's leaves are turning brown, which is expected when transplanting this kind of plants. They will shoot new leaves several weeks after completely drying of its foliage. I think we should also add some aquatic plants that will help our ants survive in the water. Let's add some duckweeds and azolla. I'm not sure if azolla will survive in this vivarium, but duckweed got a higher chance, as duckweeds loves and thrives in stagnant water at least. The springtails got the news about the aquatic plants we just added. They often visit the waters and looks like they found a new place to hang out. After a few more days, our air plant's still looking good. But 2 of our 3 ficus at the back are dead I think, as they are completely dried out. I hope the 3rd ficus survives at least. Our fern is also drying slowly as expected. Our mosses still looks healthy, at least for now. What do you think of the first vivarium of the channel guys? Your thoughts and suggestions are always welcome in the comments. Update of the vivarium will be after a month. Or maybe, when I move an ant colony in the setup. I just hope you have learned something from this video guys. Be a genie for the first time, by granting my wish and tapping the like and share button, that would help a lot. This is DColonyyt, saying goodbye for now, but hoping to see you on my next videos.